podcast.
Yeah, hey everybody.
We're going to do a special episode for this one because I'm still in Florida and we wanted to record a second one. So I believe this one will come out technically, normally we do one every 2 weeks. This one will come out after 1 week. Yeah, that's how it works.
And it's not a visual because we don't have the equipment with us.
Correct, yeah. Just like the last one, because I'm still in Florida, we're only recording on our phones. So because we're recording on our phones, it was easier file-wise and visually it's just, it was too hard to try and get that. So because we're recording on both our phones and I'm putting it together, and therefore I'm rambling, and all you need to know is you can't see us because we're in Florida.
Yep.
So, all right. So we've actually some pretty good topics to talk about. The first one I want to talk about, which is actually what cued us to want to do another episode, was you read an article about Netflix changing something in regards to prices. Now, this is so before I get into anything, let me tell you what's happening. Obviously, streaming platforms are raising prices because they want more money and they're greedy bastards and oligarchs. We get it. And they claim that they need this money to keep the thing going because they're running at a deficit. That's entirely false, and they're just oligarchs that are hungry for more money. Anyways, Netflix is testing out a new thing from their product innovation department where you will no longer be allowed to share your password with people outside of a household. I believe what they'll do is tie it to your home internet, and so therefore anyone who's not on your home internet Wi-Fi will have to pay a fee of $2.99 per Wi-Fi. So if, let's say, your parents have Netflix, right? And you're one of 4 siblings. And each of you 4 siblings are in different Wi-Fi households. That's $3.99 per person extra.
$2.99.
Oh, $2.99. Yes, sorry. $2.99 per person extra. Now, they're testing it right now in Costa Rica, Peru, and Chile. And they're going to see if it works. I am deeply appalled and distressed by this. But before I get into it, I want to hear your thoughts on it.
Well, my thoughts are that all of these streaming services, as well as the Wi-Fi services, have become a sponge on your income. Because let me go back to the Wi-Fi, regular cable.
Regular cable.
Okay, regular cable. If you want to have complete coverage on your regular cable, and you like sports,
Yeah,
and HBO and things like that, and sure you can get that streaming, but in my case, I like to watch the Tampa Rays baseball team. I have to take a silver package or whatever package it is, and I can't watch the games unless I take it. So by the time I'm finished with all my extras and the taxes on it and the federal and the state taxes, I'm paying like $200 some odd dollars
a month.
A month. And now I subsidize it with Netflix,
Right.
and Amazon Prime, and occasionally I'll look at some of the other streaming services. So basically, if you keep watching streaming services and the regular cable, you say to yourself, why should I leave the house and go to the movies? Because it's costing you so much money, and now you got to configure it within your budget, because between that and if you have a car lease and you're paying rent, it becomes a big chunk of your daily budget. So the $2.95 might not be a lot to some people, but if you have children and they're away at college, and you have a few kids at college, now you got to pay extra for each child who wants to maybe watch Netflix at their dorm, let's say. Every little thing mounts up. I mean, Amazon Prime just increased their membership fee, and you have more and more apps now for streaming, and they get more appetizing. It's like going to a candy store. I see 1883, which is an offshoot of Yellowstone, which I like, that I watch for on my regular cable service. But now they got the offshoot 1883, which is the predecessor to Yellowstone. If I want to watch it, I got to subscribe to Paramount Plus.
Right.
So when does it stop? When does it stop before it starts saying to you, get in control?
Well, and it's actually really, from someone who's majored in communications and spent literal courses learning about what subscription services are, the different types of subscription services, because there's multiple kinds. You have Hulu, where you can pay whatever it is, $6 a month for their service, but there's advertisements like a normal cable television, or you can pay $15 a month for no ads, or you can anime streaming platforms like Crunchyroll and Verve and Funimation allow you to watch stuff for free, but with advertisements like television. So, or you can pay subscription like Netflix, where there's no advertisements. It's just free to use as long as you pay. So it's very, very interesting to see the lifespan of subscription services and how quickly they have sort of self-destructed. Because when I was in college, which was last year, I graduated, but I remember sophomore year, junior year, I'm learning about subscription services like Netflix and Amazon and Hulu, and learning about cord cutting, which is people who were completely wiping out their cable packages, their silver, bronze, or gold packages for hundreds of dollars a month, because you said what, $200-something a month just for cable. Netflix.
Well, that also includes, computer.
Well, right,
Wi-Fi.
and that's how a lot of service providers force you to maintain cable. Because even I remember my mom, same thing. Somehow, when my mom went to go get cable, it was cable plus internet plus a home phone, right? She tried to get just Wi-Fi, just internet, and somehow having just internet without cable is $100 more than having 500 channels plus internet. For the reason is because depending on where you live, depends on the fact that you don't have a choice. So these companies can do whatever the hell they want. Your service provider near you either have a choice of that service provider or satellite, realistically. Most people don't have the choice of multiple internet providers. And because these companies are aware of that, they price gouge and they pigeonhole you. So it sucks. But regardless, let's say in a perfect world, you could get internet for real cheap. Like, I don't know, $30 a month. Let's say you can get as fast as internet as you have now, just for like $30 a month. You do that, plus you do Netflix and Disney Plus. That'll be about what? Less than $100 a month for all your streaming services. And then you don't need to watch news anymore because you can get it off of your local apps, or you can find websites that stream the news live anyways, because that's a lot of places just stream it for free. All you have to do is make an account for free, like sign your email up or whatever. But these streaming services used to be a way out of cable because people were realizing how much power these service providers like Verizon, like Optimum, Fios, Bright House, whatever, had over people. They were forcing people to pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And then subscription services came out and people said, wonderful, I only have to pay $8 a month. And that turns out to be what? $96 a year, less than $100 for the whole year for unlimited movies off of Netflix. Yeah, I don't know if, for those who don't remember, Netflix used to be like $9 a month.
I think Amazon now, I think they raised it to 13 something a month.
Yeah. I remember the lowest I think Netflix was I think it was $7 or $8. But I may be wrong. It might have been $9. But regardless, people used to see subscription services as a way out. And I believe it was around 2019 to 2020. We really started to see everyone grasp the idea of what a subscription service is and then implement it. And now everything's a subscription service. Everything. You buy an iPhone, you don't have to buy an iPhone for whatever it is, $800 now. You pay $35 a month for 2 years. Or if you pay $35 a month for 1 year, you can trade it in and get a new one and forever pay us $35 a month. And you can pay subscriptions till you're dead. Same thing with cable. Cable, again, has always been a subscription service. Netflix is a subscription service. News articles are now forcing subscription services. Like, I believe it's Wall Street Journal. You need very specific, you need to pay a certain amount of money per month. I don't know how much it is. It may not be Wall Street, it might be Times, but there's a news outlet out there that does that. And it sucks. It sucks. Everything is costing money. Apps, video games, and crap that kids used to download on the App Store that used to be just $2 to play. It just be $2, buy the game, and you have the whole game.
Okay, so let's...
Now it's $5 a month. Apple has Apple Arcade. You pay monthly for the games. Music. No one buys music anymore. You subscribe to Spotify Premium and you get unlimited music.
So let's just suppose, for myself and the audience, I just want to stream and I just want to utilize my Apple iPhone.
Yeah.
And I call up my service, which is Spectrum.
Yeah.
And I say to them, I want to cancel everything with you, all the Wi-Fi and everything. Can I exist with just watching streaming services?
Yes, you can, 100%. And as you're talking, I just thought of a beautiful way that you can very easily, well, I don't know if this is easy, but you can get around a lot of your fees in terms of cable and internet and such. If you have an iPhone or you have an iPad, if you get 5G, 4G, whatever, internet service on your phone, let's say you have unlimited service. That would be the best ideas if you can get unlimited service.
On what?
Unlimited data on your phone and or iPad. And then what you do is you get a smart television. And a lot of TVs now allow you to do screen sharing, which means from my phone, I can press a button and whatever I'm playing, like for example, I can watch YouTube on my phone and I believe it's in the top right corner, you'll see a little square with 3 what looks like internet bars. Press that and you can connect to a television and put from the YouTube video I'm watching on my phone goes on the television. So if you can do that with Netflix and Hulu and stuff like that, you don't even need internet or Wi-Fi. Pay for the unlimited internet on your phone and or iPad, and then get a smart television and project it on the television. That's it. Or even better, you get an iPad, pay for the 5G, buy a mini projector for like $300, and within a year, you'll have paid it off by not paying for cable and not paying for internet, because you can stream via the iPad under your 5G internet, unlimited, right? hook it up to your by Bluetooth or cable or whatever to your little projector and project it on a wall. And you can watch all the Netflix, all the Amazon, anything you want, anything that's a video that you can put on the projector goes up on your wall. Mm-hmm. So that'll save you hundreds of dollars on cable, on internet, on everything else. Obviously, it's a big expense because you need to be able to afford the monthly unlimited, which is expensive. And
what do you call expensive?
I don't know the price of it. It could be anywhere from $40 to $50 a month. I don't know, but I'm presuming that it can be expensive because if you're already paying off an iPhone, right? You're paying your $35 a month, and now you have unlimited. I'm assuming it's going to be up to like $70 a month.
But I have a question.
So, but my point is it may be a big initial fee, but if that is something that you continue with, it can pay itself off by the end of a year because you'll look back and you'll say, oh, I spent whatever it was, I don't know, $1,000. Meanwhile, if you would have had cable and all this other stuff, you would have spent $3,000.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
I take the cable service out of my house.
Okay.
Now I have my smart TV.
Yeah.
And my Apple phone.
Yes.
My Apple phone runs through Verizon.
Yes.
And I just turn on the TV,
mm-hmm.
and I can watch any of those streaming services on my smart TV, correct?
Yes, but you need internet for that. So you have to pay your service provider, your cable provider for internet. If you get rid of cable, they will probably charge you an extra $100 or more if you just ask for Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I think that was the point.
Right.
When I originally looked into it, I still had to pay $100 and some odd as
right.
opposed to, let's say, $155 getting a lot of stuff.
Right.
And then I added more stuff on the cable. So I said to myself, I might as well spend the extra $100 above the Wi-Fi service and
right.
get it.
Well, no, that's the thing. It's not an extra $100. It's less $100. So it'll be, let's say, because this happened with my mom. Whatever it is, let's say it's $150 for this internet, for good internet speed and 500 channels. You ask for no cable, just the internet, it'll go up to $250 or $200. It'll go up an extra $100 mm-hmm. purely because they know that that's what you want, but they also need to make money from you watching cable,
right,
and from selling the statistics that cable is still selling. And so because there's a very complex web of people trying to sell to some other people and sell to those people, they need to sell eyeballs. So, and that's all cable is, and that's mm-hmm. what advertising mm-hmm. is selling the promise of eyeballs. It's selling the theory of eyeballs. Yeah. And so they will force you to keep cable. That way they can tell the higher ups, yeah, we've got 50 million people who own cable and are watching it. You don't know if they're watching. Oh, okay, no, but we have 50 million people who own cable. 30 million of those people are using the cable, and so on and so forth. And now you can give us more money for advertisements. Great, okay. Mm-hmm. So
your initial question to me was, what do I think about $2.99 increase? I think it's a drop in the bucket. Compared to the other costs of watching cable television and streaming. It's just, when do I stop picking out a streaming service to add on to my streaming services
right.
and my cable services?
Right.
It's like I said, going to a candy store.
Right. Well, and not to mention, all the background bullshit that a lot of people don't pay attention to, like the advertising and the choice of colors and the marketing that goes behind it all. The colors of Netflix and the colors of Amazon and the colors of Hulu are specifically designed to draw your attention away from other things and make you feel like you need to look at it. That's a whole science that I do not want to get into at this moment.
Yeah.
But I saw a video about it where if you want to feel like you don't want to have a headache, for people who use their phone a lot, you go through your phone settings. I forget where it is, but you can basically turn your entire phone black and white. Do that for like an hour. I did it and immediately felt a difference. And it's because subconsciously we are being pulled in 12 different directions because of all these apps, because the science behind it, these colors pull you away, these colors make you feel this, these colors make you feel that. And because we're feeling all these feelings, we don't even realize it. We're so trained to not feel it that when you turn it to black and white, you feel so different. And it makes you hate your phone because you're like, why am I on all this crap? You don't realize it until you do that.
Well, Peter, I have been watching the Hero Channel, and I've been watching series in black and white, like Maverick from the 60s. I watched, like I had mentioned, The Virginian, all programs from the 60s that are in black and white. And you know what? You pay more attention to the dialogue.
Right. You pay attention more to certain nuances than you do what's visually being pushed in front of you. 100%.
Yeah, but you do realize the quality of the film is not good, but you know what? You listen.
But at its core, though, what I'm getting at is there's a lot of science that a lot of people don't realize behind marketing and advertising that is affecting them subconsciously. And so turning stuff like your phone into black and white makes it very boring, but that's the point. Because then you're not going to be enticed to scroll on TikTok for 4 hours and go to bed at 3 a.m.
Yeah, but we have a sickness too, and I had mentioned this to you yesterday as you were visiting and I was leaving the house. Oops, I forgot my phone. I mean, in my day, we used to leave the house and we didn't have a phone. And when we came home, we watched television. Now, you got to have your phone because you may want to catch something that you recorded and watch it on your phone while you're out of the house or...
Yeah, but again, I think I said this yesterday as well. You got to also recognize the phone is not all bad. People are able to walk around with their wallets on their phone, which is both secure and not secure. I don't have to walk around with $500 in my pocket. I can keep it on my phone, and that phone is locked behind a passcode that no one can get into unless they're a really good hacker. And so I now don't have to worry about holding 17 things, and I don't have to worry about it being stolen, because if someone steals my phone, it sucks, but they're not going to get into my phone.
Yeah, by the way.
So, and the level of communication. I can talk to you from via Zoom. That's social media. That's iPhones.
Yeah, like we're doing now, too.
Well, we're doing it in person, but we're able to record a podcast without an entire studio. I can do it on a cell phone. So there's tons of good stuff that comes out of it.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I went and took all the courses and got multiple degrees. I should have just learned so much that I could become a good hacker.
Right.
Hacker is good.
Then you just cheat your way through everything.
That's right.
Real quick though, I wanted to add the Netflix thing to finish it up. I am not necessarily upset at the $2.99. I'm upset at the $2.99 thing, yes. But I think what's the most important thing, which I read in one of the articles about this, was that's the article brought up something very important and a very poignant idea, which is Netflix hasn't had an issue, or at least hasn't said they've had an issue, with people sharing their passwords for about 10 years now.
Right.
For them to now turn around and now, after 10 years, start charging people $2.99. I think that's going to cause more damage than good. Obviously, when you raise prices, you're going to lose people. And the hope is that when you raise the prices, it will cover the costs of those who have left, because the loyal followers will stay and pay. And you will then make more profit off of higher prices. I think with Netflix, given that this is not just a price raise, but that you are now forcing people to pay upwards of $12 to $30, depending on how many different people are using Netflix. My girlfriend has a family of 7 who I don't think they're all using one Netflix account, but if they wanted to, they now can. And not a family of 7, her mom is one of 7. And so that's one of 7 aunts and uncles plus their wives, plus their kids, plus their
And
whoever.
who knows who they're giving it out to?
Right. And so obviously that on a business standpoint is awful. I get it. Like that's the worst thing because the company can't profit off of the however many people, 30 people that are viewing this.
So I think it's a great idea.
I don't think that many people are doing it.
Oh, I disagree.
But no, I don't think that many. I think maybe upwards of like 5 or 6, but I don't think out of the 7 different sections of her family, I don't think all 30 plus are using one account. I'm fairly certain of that. They all have separate accounts.
See, every one of my friends that are not brain dead, every one of my friends who knows that they can do it, do it.
Right, of course, because it's cheap and it's understandable. We do it now.
Right.
You have Amazon Prime. I use your Amazon Prime. I have Netflix and Disney Plus, and you use my Netflix and Disney Plus.
That's right.
So it is understandable. My argument is if the company was okay with it or didn't do anything with it for 10 years, to do it now, I think it's going to cause a bigger blow to their company than their profits will allow.
Well, if they're going to look at cash flow, positive cash flow.
Of course. And if it's positive, then they'll keep it. But,
Right.
And so by all means, if it happens, it happens, and we'll figure it out. But
Okay, but in the meantime,
it's something that people should focus on, but not be concerned about because it's only in Peru, Chile, and Costa Rica.
yeah. But in the meantime, all these services we pay for
Are sapping us dry.
are sapping us dry, and we have to realize what percentage of our net income is taking place because many people are like myself. I used to read books, one book a week, and now I haven't picked up a book in 3 months because of all the streaming services and such. And that's true. I'm reading online, okay?
Yeah.
But it could come to a certain point, and I'm not strapped for cash, but it could come to a certain point where I will say, hey, I don't want any cable services. I don't want any Wi-Fi, and I'm going to become a hermit. And that's it. And that's it. And I'll save.
Well, I think you and plenty of other people, because I've noticed that, I think a lot of people are getting real tired of a lot of things, especially with prices going up and everything. No one's making, gas prices are going up. Netflix prices are going up. Food prices are going up. Everything is going up, but no one's making more money. And we're still dealing with a pandemic, and we're still dealing with a lot of crap. And we're virtually starting World War III, which is our next topic.
Yeah, let's move on.
So, yeah, it's tough. It's tough, and it sucks. And I think a lot of people are on your side, and I think a lot of people are going to start downsizing in terms of subscription services in the near future. With that being said, we spent a long-ass time on that topic, and it's okay, but we did. So the next topic I wanted to bring on was the more Ukraine stuff, because World War III is imminent, my opinion, because we are now donating millions of dollars to them, and Biden is also donating certain anti-aircraft missiles, but he's not donating soldiers or gear. I understand and I don't understand. His argument is he's trying to prevent nuclear war and World War III from starting. I get it. And he doesn't want to jump in fully because he doesn't want necessarily Russia to work with China or this to become bigger than it is. I understand. At the same time, he's still dipping his toes in. He's still giving. He's still donating. So how do you... And it's a difficult balance. How do you donate without donating too much or too little? That's not really a thing. Because there's people dying and they keep asking. Zelensky keeps asking for help. And what's funny is we live in such a dystopian time that there are Americans, like American gun makers, who are donating guns to Ukraine. I read an article recently. Let me see if I can find it, where gun owners, a gun maker or a gun shop donated 400 guns to Ukraine. Why is a gun shop in the middle of one of the states donating guns instead of the U.S. government donating the guns?
Well, probably the redneck sales were down, and they figured out let's give away some guns.
Oh, perfect. Florida. Andrian Kellgren's family owned gun company in Florida was left holding a $200,000 shipment of semi automatic rifles after a longtime customer in Ukraine suddenly went silent during Vladimir Putin's invasion, and so he ended up donating them. So, 400 guns. Yeah. Stranded 400 guns to use, sending them to Ukraine's resistance movement. Yeah, 400 guns. Obviously, the guy was going to buy them, but still, we've got people in the U.S. states donating guns to help Ukraine, but we don't have the government helping Ukraine. And again, it's a sticky situation. If they get too involved, we could end up dropping nukes on each other. I get it, but it's such a complex issue.
It's the same thing that happened in World War II with Roosevelt. He was warned prior to us getting involved that Germany was looking to conquer Europe.
Yeah.
And he was being told about the tragedies that were happening with the Jewish people, how they were being killed and put in concentration camps. And he sat back, and he was one of our greatest presidents. He didn't want to get us involved in World War II. It's a very difficult thing for a president to say, okay, I'm sending our boys over and we're going to get involved. You send guns over, you do economical constraints, but eventually, if it doesn't work, there's a line drawn in the sand, and you have to decide what's the next step. Now, the next step could be send out a hit squad and put a bullet in Putin's head, which is contrary to assassination of leaders. But you know what? I don't care. Let's call it a chess match. We'll sacrifice our king for their king. I mean, I don't give a shit. As far as I'm concerned, I want the war to end. I don't. Right now, the Russian army is headed westward in the Ukraine. They're getting a great deal of losses, but so are the Ukrainian people in the army. There are talks with China. China has in the back of their mind about taking over certain areas like in Taiwan and so on and so forth. So we got a lot on the plate. If we decide to send guns, that's one thing. If we decide to create no-fly zones, that's an invitation to World War III. It's very tough. If you have a child that's of age to be drafted, if we have to ever go into the draft again, some people say, I am a patriot. That's great. I will fight for liberty. Yeah. And others might say, you know what? I don't want my kid getting shot in the Middle East. I don't want my son getting shot in the Ukraine if he goes over. Yeah. So I have no idea, with my age, watching so many wars, I watched us lose the Korean War. They don't want to admit it. We lost the Korean War. We didn't gain anything out of the Korean War. We went over to Korea, and fought there on their land. We didn't win. World War II, we won. We should have smoked out Russia then when our generals said, let's go in and take out Russia. Russia is a wart on our behind for years, and we haven't gotten rid of it. And the countries in Europe right now got to be shitting a brick, because we have the expansion of Russia going on, and if they are successful in the Ukraine, and they just
if they're successful in the Ukraine, it's going to be a major freaking issue. Absolutely. I think this is what's so hard is so many people keep talking about it, but it really is true. This has been a really tough, like 2 to 3 years, because everything, we've got COVID. People are exhausted from COVID and the pandemic, which is not over. I don't care what anyone fucking says. I will fight anyone on this.
I agree.
The pandemic is not over.
I agree.
People are just tired of it, including government officials. And so they're lifting rules and regulations because they know that they will have another civil riot on their hands if they don't.
Let's see what happens, Peter, after all the people go to March Madness.
I know, March Madness, spring football, spring break,
Major League Baseball,
yeah, everything. I know, 100%. I know we're gonna have major spikes again, but it's been really, really tough.
Yeah.
We're on the verge of a war. We've got this pandemic that was already hard enough, and now on top of that, because of the war and the pandemic, prices are going up for everything, but people are losing jobs because these major companies are still on hold due to the pandemic, or they're not hiring because of the pandemic, or they found back alleyways to make money because they're holding skeleton crews and then saying, oh, we're still hiring, but we can't find anyone. Government, give us money. And so it's very, very hard.
And also another offshoot of this Ukrainian war is that the stock market has been going down.
Right, but that's my point.
Yeah, I'm looking at my pension fund, and since the war began, I'm a variable pension fund, it has gone down substantially. And if this thing drags out, I have no idea. Plus the Federal Reserve, raising interest rates by a quarter, and they say they may be raising it 6 different times.
Yeah.
We have an economical war as well as a physical war going on.
As well as a health war
Yeah,
too.
I mean,
granted, I'm not a huge fan of the idea of the war on blank. I don't really like that term. I don't like when presidents and politicians use like the war on drugs. I don't agree with that type of term, but it's poignant to what we're talking about. And on top of that, to make it even more dreary, I saw a video recently of, or was it an article? I think it was an article about an AI system that was built, I think it was in the 70s, and it was designed to model and to determine sustainability on Earth, like some simulation. And it basically simulated that the Earth is going to die, or like we will go extinct by 2060.
Wonderful.
So
wonderful. Let's charge up our credit cards.
Yeah, like this simulation that was thought about and built, I believe it was in the 70s, and was running, apparently claims that by like 2050 or 2060, we will, whatever it may be, run out of resources, go extinct, something along the lines of global extinction. I've lived through 6 of them. 2012, the Mayan calendar is I've been through a bunch of them. So this to me feels like another one, but it definitely just like adds to everything else that's going on,
Oh, what about year 2000? Everything's going to stop.
Right, of course, year 2000.
But let's get back. Putin, for example. He is so full of crap. He is saying, that he wants to get back what's basically Russia's, okay? So, again, you got to either deal with him with a bullet, or knowing that he's full of crap, you got to capture him and stick up his ass some exploding suppositories.
Oh, good, yeah, that'll be good.
That would cure the whole situation.
Well, we'll treat him like a bottle rocket. He could be in the great space race with all the billionaires. Put a couple suppositories in his ass, put him on a boat outside, and see how high up he goes.
Yeah, I think so. I definitely think so. But
oh, God.
Again, I'm sorry, I'm trying to make this into a laughing matter. It's not. People are dying, but...
it's good to bring lightheartedness, though, into situations, even if they're serious.
Yeah, I definitely think that another solution would be offer Putin amnesty for war crimes right now. Tell him that in 2024, another great Russian is going to bring forth something wonderful. He's going to run for president of the United States. Another great Russian is going to be looking for a running candidate. I think Putin should get together with Trump and become his running mate. But I know we can't have foreigners run for president and vice president.
Well, that's why we'll capture him and keep him here for a year, and then he'll become a U.S. citizen.
No, you can't be far. You can't. Can you imagine a ticket of Trump and Putin running for the Republican Party? And I'm a Republican, so putty. But you know, I just imagine things we could do to end this war. People right now getting arrested for protesting the war in Russia. They're being protested if they have blank signs.
That's my favorite thing.
Yeah.
For anyone who absolutely hates protesting in America, Russia is arresting people who are literally out in the streets doing nothing but holding a blank piece of paper. Not even a banner. A piece of paper. They are holding it out like as if it's a sign. It is blank. There's no words on the back that they're hiding. It is a blank piece of paper. And they're literally recording it as these cops in riot gear come over to them and put them in handcuffs and take them off to jail. They are in jail as of right now because they held a blank piece of paper. On top of that, cops are going through people's phones and making them delete stuff. Mm-hmm. And they will arrest you on the spot if you don't.
Mm-hmm. And you know, another thing that bothers me with this Ukrainian war, God forbid we enter the war physically and have to send troops. Most of our troops are going to be minorities. And that means it's going to be an unequal killing of American citizens because most of our minorities are in the army. Most of our minorities.
I don't know about that. I don't know if that's a true statistic right there because we also have a lot of white people.
Oh, we do.
All the Midwesterners who are.
We do, but I'm just saying. But what will happen is, maybe I'm blowing smoke out my ass, but. I think a lot.
I understand what you're getting at in terms of the fact that we have a lot of immigrants that joined the army for various purposes, whether it was for income, guaranteed income or protection or healthcare or whatever it may have been, or they didn't feel like they had a better future. So they went to the army or the Navy or wherever.
College.
Right, a paid for college. And so therefore these people are going to be on the front lines and being killed, and I get it, I understand. At the same time, I don't know if they're the majority here.
But what do you think about, we do this, we take all the gangs that are in the United States, you listening?
Okay.
And we offer each of the gangs millions and millions of dollars. They're already armed, so we don't have an expense to arm them.
Okay.
And we send these gangs to fight, but we make the money so much, we send them to fight. What do you think about that? We get them out of our country.
Look, no, I can't. It's not a bad idea, but it's also a bad idea. So I can't. I'm not gonna. I refuse to expand on this topic. No, I'm not. No comment. No.
Hey, look, you tell.
No comment.
You tell one of the gangs, I'm going to give you $250 million. Well, you may have to give them more. Their drug traffic might be getting better. More. No, we'll give you $1 billion.
No comment. No comment.
No.
Zero comments on that.
Oh, okay. So let's just pray to God that this Ukrainian war comes to a peaceful settlement.
Oh, woo, yeah. That's a good joke.
Yeah.
I would love that to be a reality. I don't see that. I also don't see it because as the capitalist that America is, people who are buying and are selling any form of war stocks or war-based products are making ass loads of money right now. So absolutely not. War is profitable. That's why we do it. We go to war not because we have to, but because we can make money off of it. So I do not want to. This will most likely not end peacefully, not because it's not an option, because it is an option, but because it will not make us enough money.
Yeah, you know what happens? Every time we outfit a country with weapons to fight what we presume is our enemy,
Yeah.
whether we're helping them physically or just outfitting them, sometime down the line they use these weapons against us. They become our enemy.
Well, because again, more money. It's profitable to be at war. That's what it is.
You know,
So whatever. Look.
So what do you think's going to happen? You don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. There's obviously the irrational side of most people, which is we're going to end up in nuclear war, and it's going to be like the video games Fallout, and we're going to be dealing with radioactive creatures, and we're going to be living underground.
Radioactive creatures.
Yeah, because we'll have nukes dropped on us, and the animals will morph via the radiation, and we will have to fight off with rusty swords.
The Walking Dead,
similar to The Walking Dead.
That's good. I like that. I know how to deal with them because I watched every season.
Right, you got to go for the head.
That's right. Go for the head.
Yeah, I think that's the irrational side. I think the rational side is we're just going to end up in another war, and it's going to be rough, and we may hit another recession, but, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
In lighter news, I'm going to give us one last brief topic. Pete Davidson was invited to go on Bezos's penis rocket to space and take a trip into space because Bezos is, I guess, a joyride to space now. He took Willie Shat and he took a couple other people and he invited Pete Davidson, and Pete Davidson is skipping out because he's not an asshole. So he's not going to that. Additionally, you haven't heard about this, and I think a lot of people are only recently learning the full thing. Pete Davidson and Kanye West, or as he's now named, Ye. Or Ye.
Oh, yay.
Stupid motherfucker. Anyways.
Hey, don't be racist.
It's not racist. I'm saying motherfucker. I'll call anyone a motherfucker. There's nothing racist about that.
I agree with you, though, but you know.
No, there's nothing racist about that. I'll call anyone I know a motherfucker.
I hate that word. I hate that word.
Anyways.
Hate it.
Kanye is mentally ill, and I really do not agree with anyone who backs him because he's genuinely mentally ill and he needs help.
Yeah, but
he recently wants to fight. He wants to fight Pete Davidson, and he wants to handle him. And he made a music video where he shows Pete Davidson getting tied up and buried alive and all this crap. And it's and a bunch of other stuff. When his mom died recently, he hasn't been the same since. He's lying. He's saying, "Oh, I don't get to see my kids anymore." And then Kim is responding on his Instagram going, "You were just here this morning dropping our kids off at school, so please stop with this narrative." Recently, Pete Davidson texted Kanye and was like, "Hey, please stop attacking your ex-wife. She's a wonderful mother to your kids, and she's doing nothing wrong. You need to seek help." And
who said that? Pete Davidson?
Pete Davidson. And Pete Davidson is a man who has various mental health and physical health issues, who takes medication and is very open publicly about his mental health. So he's like, bro, go get some help. It's okay to get help. And there's a whole screenshot of his text messages with Kanye. And it's really funny because he's like, you gotta make this private. Stop handling this publicly. I personally have prevented SNL and other comedians from making jokes about you because I don't want to make this any harder on you. I'm trying to help you out here. Please stop attacking me and your ex-wife. But if you keep going, it's been 6 months now, I'm going to stop. I'm not going to defend you anymore. And Kanye tried to say, or Pete tried to say, if you want to like hash this out, let's go get dinner and some drinks and let's go talk about it man to man. Let's figure this out. I want to handle it. And Kanye's like, no, you can come to my Sunday service, because he does a stupid church service thing.
Yay!
Like the cultist he is. And so Pete's like, no, I don't want it to be public. I want to solve this privately with you, as a mature and sane person would and should do.
Yep.
You would handle a private issue privately. And Ye just keeps going, no, do it at the Sunday service. And he goes up, and at some point he says something. I don't remember what the hell it was.
Who says something?
Kanye says something. And Kanye asks where he's at right now. Because Pete and him they're going through the text, right? And this is in a screenshot, so anyone who wants to look it up can look it up. Through this conversation, he's like, no, let's meet privately, let's do this thing. And Kanye goes, where are you right now? And Pete responds, in bed with your wife.
Fantastic!
And sends a picture of himself in bed, holding up a peace sign or whatever. He didn't send a picture of his wife, but like, he literally, like,
fantastic.
He responded with, in bed with your wife. I mean, you
throw the log on the fire. That's all. Throw that log on the fire.
And in the text, he also somewhere throughout the conversation, he calls him an internet bitch boy. He goes, can you please stop being...
Ooh.
Pete Davidson calls Kanye and says, can you please stop being an internet bitch boy and talk about this privately? And then so on. And then he goes, yeah, I'm in bed with your wife.
Yeah, I know. You know what the problem is?
It's so good. It's perfect.
It is. It's fantastic. But we talked about a war before. Okay?
I know.
Here's a war. You have Kanye, who's a billionaire, and who's out of his mind. And you have Pete Davidson, who's not a billionaire, and he's funny and creative.
Yeah.
So you can use a war of words against the war of dollars. And throwing in that I'm in the bed with your wife can really be...
That's the ultimate comeback.
Yeah.
That's the joke that every guy will ever use. It's either in bed with your wife or in bed with your mom. Like that's the age old joke.
That's right.
Is like, yeah, I'm having sex with your mom. Like, screw you. Like that's what we used to say on Xbox Live 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, the fact that Pete is not only a comedian, but he's actually in bed with Kanye's wife. Like, you can't come back from that. You physically cannot one-up this man, and I love it.
Yeah, I mean, Kanye can only use his money as a tool because...
Right, of course, because, and granted, he can use it as a tool to fix himself and get actual freaking help, but he's not.
And I wouldn't put it past Kanye to pay somebody to blow Pete Davidson away.
100%. I think he would try, but at the same time, it would obviously look suspicious, and there would probably become an investigation behind it, and so on and so forth.
But he probably wouldn't care. He's out of his mind.
That's true.
You know.
But as someone who doesn't commonly and regularly follow stuff like this, because I just don't care for it, this is the one thing I do want to keep following, because I need to see what Pete continues to do. And I can't wait for when Kanye obviously continues to persist, and Pete says, all right, everything's free. And he lets SNL and he lets these comedians make jokes.
Michael and Josh on SNL will kill it.
Yes. And I can't wait. I cannot wait for the screenshots of Pete Davidson in bed with Kanye's wife to go on every comedic platform there is. Yeah. It's going to be beautiful. Yeah. Oh my God. And it's beautiful.
That is fantastic.
Beautiful. So
I would like to go back in time and have used that line.
You can still use it when you go play golf with your friends.
Yeah, right.
That's how you get your shit punched in. But so good.
Oh,
anyways, we did better this time. We ended it on a good note. So there it is.
Yeah.
with that being said, I don't know, since this is a special one, I don't know if we'll come back next week or the week after. We shall figure it out. Maybe we'll just switch to weeklies. Who knows? We will figure it out.
I just want to leave on a very serious note.
Oh, okay.
Very, very serious note. When Putin explains what's going on, you have to take it with a grain of salt.
Okay.
And the best thing to remember is the old philosophy. When he's talking, don't tell me that it's raining while you're pissing on my shoes.
That's a good way. That's a good
Okay.
thing to finish it on. I like that.
So, everybody, I hope that you are safe and healthy and enjoying March Madness. And I hope you're not going mad over what's happening in the world. I hope that everything becomes happy and takes all the gloom out of your life.
And even if not, just learn to find your little pocket of peace. That's all.
Right. Or get those pictures of Pete Davidson
And is in bed with Kanye's
wife. Man, I'm right after we get off this podcast, I'm looking for it.
That's fine. I'll show it to you.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Remember, I don't like to say these, but we're gonna do it. Like, follow, subscribe, comment, do all those fucking things. I don't care if you don't want it. Do it because we would like it. And if you've made it this far, text me or message me if you want. If you have any topics you think we should talk about, or if you want to be on the podcast with us. Let me know. Yeah. Share it to your family. I don't care if they don't like cursing. I would love to offend them.
Yes, in Australia, you have one of the greatest armies in the world.
Yeah.
Get those men ready.
They also got the biggest spiders in the world, so send the spiders over.
Yeah, get them ready. Okay, love you guys.
Love you guys.
Bye.